Hi all, a very good morning. We are going to be starting in just a minute. Thank you for your patience. We're very happy to see that students have shown interest in joining and getting to know more about students who have already transferred and are living abroad and experiencing what it is like to actually transfer and kind of get the both best of both the worlds. So yes, I'm really very happy and actually very proud today to inform you that we have a really special student with us today. She is our first student to Monash University in Australia for the program of Bachelor of Computer Science. She is one of the students who is gets the who has the privilege of going to university through Vidyalanka for the first time and experience how what it feels like to be sort of like a pioneer in doing the same. She's also one of our toppers, is what students call nowadays. She's one of the toppers. She's a scholar. She's been in the top three of all semesters at Vidyalanka. She started with Bachelor of Science in IT degree and chose to transfer to Monash in Australia. And these are not my words, these are her words. She had dreamt of going to Monash since the beginning. So this was a great update for her that we had this particular collaboration. So I'm glad that this could work out so well for her. And just a quick update as well. She's not only a scholar here, she's doing very well over there also. Just a few minutes ago, she informed us of how well she's done in one of the assignments. So yes, please welcome. And I thank you, Sejal, for your time today. Really appreciate it. Sejal Deshpande.
Of course. Hello, I'm Sejal Deshpande, and I'm currently studying Bachelor's of Computer Science at Monash University, Clayton campus. I'm specializing in data science, and my minor is business analytics. So, yeah, I'm really excited for this session today. Thank you for inviting me.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you, Sejal. Thank you for your time. And as I can see, you are actually on our ground at Monash. Is it?
Yeah, I am at the campus today. So it's really beautiful out here. It's amazing. So there are a lot of social events happening all the time. Free food, free groceries and all. So it's really fun. Yeah,
Perfect. Sounds like a lot. It sounds very exciting. Thank you so much. Great.
it is.
Lovely. Okay, so let's begin. Usually, what we do with alumni interaction sessions is that we start off with just, I've given an introduction about you, but then, from your perspective, what would you like to talk about your background so far and what you're doing now?
Yeah.
You could start with that, please.
So talking about the university in general, like the campus and the overall atmosphere, it's beautiful out here. Even the social life is so interactive, and there are sessions, networking sessions happening all the time. So it's fun. But now let's move on to the not so fun part, academics. So uh, to be very honest, not to scare you guys, it is the curriculum is quite difficult, but if you are willing to put in that effort and put in that amount of time on the assignments, I mean, you can still do it. So Monash is quite a research-based university. So the assignments have a very open-ended perspective. Like the questions are very open-ended. So you can't figure out what they expect from you. So you have to be very attentive during the lectures. Um, and also, as transfer students, they are expecting us to have done some units in India. So think of it as a continuation and not a new start, because what we study in India, these are the prerequisites for the units that we study here. So it's not like you're going to get something like new. So you need those concepts of like Java, Python, calculus that you study in India here. So it depends on the units that you are taking. But if you follow my trajectory, then I suggest you to revise or focus on the concepts of calculus and Python before coming here. So they're not going to teach you Python from scratch here, right? So you need to have those like foundation and the basic concepts clear before coming here. That is basically what you will need in the first sem. And since I was the first, I did quite a lot of experimentation because I did not have anyone to guide me regarding the units. So I took the advanced computer science specialization first. So I had different units for the first 3 weeks. So um, I had a lot to catch up on, but I'm doing fine now. So at least, but I know what units the advanced computer science students need to take in their first semester. In case you plan on taking that up, you need a lot of Java and Python again for the first semester advanced computer science units. So I suggest you go through those subjects before coming here. Now talking about the professors, they are really helpful and really like friendly, and they're just very interactive. But that is if you initiate the conversations. You have to go to them and ask them the doubts. They are not going to come to you and then, okay, do you have any doubts? They're not going to do that. They're not paid for that. You have to go to them and ask the doubts. So it is your responsibility to clear your doubts here. And most of the lectures don't even have compulsory attendance. They expect that kind of responsibility from you. So it's up to you, honestly. It is difficult, but if you are willing to learn, then you'll be fine. So yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sejal. I believe that will open a lot of students' eyes coming from a student who's experiencing everything right now. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I love that, how you said that this is, you have to consider it as a continuation and not just like a new start, because so much of what you do here is going to be used there. And especially because it is a transfer program, right? So transfer means that you're going to be transferring and not really beginning somewhere else. So great.
Exactly.
So, we've started off with Monash itself and your life there right now. Let us take a step back. I'd like to start from the beginning. And could you tell us why you chose the transfer program? What attracted you to the 2+2 program?
Yeah. So honestly, I was preparing for JEE and CET, but then COVID hit us up, and there were a lot of the exams were getting postponed, and it was a lot of mess happening. And then my mom received a message regarding a webinar of this transfer program from VIE, and we attended the webinar, and we quite liked it. I thought it was a great opportunity to study here and then there. So it is amazing cost wise, and then you also get experience of abroad education in India, so you are prepared for that kind of exposure. And it's also a great opportunity to get international education at an undergraduate level instead of what generally people opt for as an MS or MBA. So yeah, this 2+2 program is great for people who want that exposure at a young age.
Sounds lovely. Sounds lovely. And then what happened once you joined? I mean, that is, you of course, you saw the benefits, and, of course, the benefits were really good. You don't need to pay for the first few years, and then, that reduces the cost. But then how was your experience like at Vidyalankar? We would like to know, what was it like? How did we help you? How did the team help you with the transfer process? What was it like for you at your end? Could you please shed some light on that?
So for me, Vidyalankar has been of great help. Like there's no room to complain. If you are with Vidyalankar, you don't need to worry. You will go where you are destined to be. And for me, it was Australia, luckily, and I'm here. So people at Vidyalankar are very cooperative and helpful, and they don't leave your side until you are where you need to be. So Shubhra ma'am, Shweta ma'am, the entire team is just so helpful, and every time you contact them, they will always have a reply back as soon as possible. So yes, it was a great experience.
Wow, that's so sweet. Now everyone will think that you have to say it because I'm right in front of you.
Absolutely not. You can even ask my mom. No, no, no. Yeah.
No, it's fine. Thank you so much. That really helps.
Yeah.
So that's very sweet of you to say that, and it's always such a pleasure to hear it from students of your caliber, your talent, and how
Absolutely.
great you're
Thank
doing over there. Over makes it all worth it. Great. So thanks for that. Could you also maybe tell us, what kind of documents you required when you were applying to Monash, and how do students prepare for that?
Um, my application process was a little messier than it is generally. So I don't remember exactly which documents you need for what application. But yeah, the general documents are just like your general ID documents, your transcripts, mark sheets, your 10th, 12th mark sheets, your leaving certificate, and yeah, so but Vidyalanka helps you with that again. Like they give you a set um, list of the documents you need for whatever application you're doing. So it's pretty like predetermined by Vidyalankar, so you don't need to stress about that. So if you were going by yourself, that would have been an issue. But since you have Vidyalankar with you, uh, you have a pretty good guidance with you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And actually, I just want to clarify to anyone who's thinking, okay, what was the mess here all about? It was only because Monash was introduced and the computer science and the IT program was introduced very newly. And that's the reason why she doesn't remember exactly what happened, because she's absolutely right. We help with, what kind of documentation is required. So one of them is the English language test, apart from all the academic documents that
I
usually.
understand.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Which is great. Thank you, thank you. So we'll move further a little, and what would you be able to tell us about the visa process?
Yes, so again, the visa process for Australia was extremely easy. With IDP as the partner of VII, IDP was amazing as well. The IDP official that helped me was super helpful and like cooperative, and my visa came within 4 days. So it's easy. Um, but yeah, again, the IDP gives you a great like it gives you a list of documents that you need to submit. They help you with the SOP, they help you with all your documents, and the visa process for Australia has been very easy for me, and I hope that is the same for you guys as well. And there's
Great,
no
thank
interview,
you.
so
That's the best
that
part.
is yeah.
Great. So yeah, just to kind of, again shed some light on this, everybody in on the call, Australia is a country which will ask you to, apply for visa through a designated agent only. These agencies have been officially designated to, work with students for their visas. So you cannot apply on your own. You're just not allowed to do that. Okay, so especially a highly ranked university like Monash, which is among the top 50 schools in all over the world, they will make sure that you don't apply directly. And that's the reason why, we collaborated with IDP for our students who flew in February this year, with which includes Sejal, and they helped with the entire visa process. And yeah, I think it was seamless, thankfully, and the visa arrived in around 4 days.
Absolutely.
For one of you, it arrived on
For
the same day.
everyone. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That was great.
Great.
Yeah.
Lovely. Good, good. Okay. So now, we've talked about visa. Could you also maybe, if you would be able to kind of shed some light on, how was your journey to Australia? So, when you kind of transitioned from India to Australia, what kind of changes did you see, or, had to maybe endure? I'm sure, I hope that you didn't have to endure anything, but just in general, what did you
Yeah.
experience and what was it like? Yeah.
So the transition was not that difficult. It was pretty smooth. Um, I my lease for the current accommodation was after 11 days, so I had to live in a temporary accommodation for 11 days. So that was a little I see. But apart from that, everything was just very smooth. I had an accommodation booked from India. So I would suggest everyone doing that as well, because coming here and then finding an accommodation is not, I don't suggest it. So, and yeah, you have to do your course. If you're not used to that, please start doing uh, your work yourself. You have to do the dishes, you have to do the laundry, you have to do everything. So be prepared for that. But apart from that, everything is just amazing here. The atmosphere is amazing. It's not too cold, it's not too warm. It's a good balance. So yeah.
Great, great. Thank you. I was about to say that, your background looks as if it's also so still that it looks like a photo. Doesn't even look like you're actually on a ground. I'm
Yeah.
there.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Great,
I mean,
great.
people are playing basketball there, but here it's like just a recreational area.
Okay, great. Good to know. Thank you. Okay, so since we're talking about housing now, can you tell us what are the rates? I mean, all our students would like to know how much it actually costs to live in Australia, in Monash.
So the people who flew with me, right, Sarah and Vidit, they are living on campus. I opted for off campus. So on campus, they are paying around, I think, $260 the last time I talked to her. But I'm paying $230 per week. That is. Um, so what I did not like the on-campus housing that much, because the only reason was they had communal kitchens, which I'm not fond of. But the rooms are pretty good. They're spacious and nice. I have seen Sarah's room. Um, but yeah, so I'm not really fond of the communal kitchen concept. But for me, I live in a townhouse with three other roommates, all are girls. And I found my accommodation on sha.com, which is studenthousinaustralia.com. So everyone who lives with you is going to be a student. And yeah, so their lease and their bond is very strict. So that's actually pretty good. So in case you have an emergency, in case there's some repair that you need to get in your house, so they need to do that within 24 hours. They need to reply to you in 24 hours. So SHA is a website that I would suggest. And my house is around 15 to 20 minutes walking, depends on your speed. And yes, the utilities are included. It is furnished. Wi-Fi is included. Water, electricity, everything. I have my own bedroom. And the kitchen is amazing. And there are only 4 people sharing the kitchen, so it's always free. So yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. And everybody in the like all my roommates are Monash students as well, because it's so close to the campus. But yeah, I prefer off-campus housing definitely, and I'll continue to live there. Yeah.
Oh, that's very different from what usually people say that they prefer on campus, which is good news. I mean, I was about to ask you, you chose it for because you didn't like the kitchen system. So now this is much better. Yes, you said it. So that's good. So just for all our viewers here, like all the audience here, just letting you know what she meant when she said to 30 Australian dollars, it's approximately 15,000 rupees, and that's every week, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Sejal, but it's yes, that's every week. So I believe that we could consider Australia on a little not. So it's not a budgeted option. It's on the higher end only because it's one of the top universities in the entire world. So yeah, just wanted to clear that out. Now you spoke of how close your campus is. If at all you live a little further away, also how is the transportation system in and around the university?
Yep. So Monash has a huge bus loop just right like at the entrance. So there are buses coming in, going in like every minute. So you don't need to worry about the transport, especially because it's a university area. There are a lot of buses. The frequency is quite good. There are trains as well. So the closest is Clayton Station, and then you can take the bus from Clayton Station to the university. So, in fact, when I'm feeling lazy or maybe I'm just done with my shift, I often take the bus and then just come at the campus. So it's pretty good. Yeah.
Lovely. Just to add on question on that is, does it cost you anything to take the buses there?
Yes, it does cost me to take a bus, but if you're going from Clayton Station, Clayton bus loop of Monash to Monash Caulfield bus loop, then you don't need to pay. You just need your Monash ID. That is.
So basically, if you're going from a campus to another campus, you don't really need
Yes.
any money.
Yeah, but if I'm going from like Clayton Station to Monash University, I do need to pay.
Okay, okay, great. Understood. Thank you. Now you just mentioned this, and I'm going to pick it up from there. You spoke about your shift, which means that you're doing an on-campus job. So can you
Yep.
shed some light on that? What kind of jobs are available? How do you approach that?
Yeah. I'm not doing an on-campus job. I'm doing an off-campus job. I got a job at Subway, um, and yeah, it's pretty good. It is hectic. Let me tell you that. I just got done with my shift in the morning, but it pays pretty well. And yeah, I mean, if you're willing to do a job, it is easy to get a job, but you need to be smart about it because there are a lot of students that are hoping for jobs here. You just need to be smart about it. So what I did is, people generally like tell you to apply online, but since there are a lot of like waiting lines online because there are a lot of students applying, what I did is I just printed my resume and then went to the Subway, went to Domino's, and just asked them whether you're like, is there a vacancy? And when they said yes, I just gave them a resume. And luckily, Subway called me within 2 weeks and called me in for an interview. I gave the interview and was called for a trial shift and then training shift and then the final shift. So yeah, so finding a job is not easy, not hard. It depends on you, how smart you are. But yeah.
Yeah.
It is hectic, but it is still doable. I mean, if you try to find that balance between studies and a job, then it's good for you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. And I completely agree with what you just said. Being smart about is what you're supposed to be doing because, just submitting resumes online, you'll never be going to be able to actually
Absolutely.
see what's happening with that resume. So at least when you go in person and submit it, that's what we tell our students here. Keep your resumes ready, printed so that once you go. So this is great, great advice, Sejal. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so since you spoke of, balancing it out with studies, now what would you recommend students? Now you're doing a major and a minor, right? So, do you recommend students do that, or do you think that, they should initially at least just do a major and, kind of test the waters and accordingly do it? What is your suggestion?
So the minors here, I don't know what it is like in other universities, but we have electives, right? So in the electives, we can choose any units in any of the like different majors. So what I chose is from the economics or the business side. So if you can fit your minor in your electives, then that's great, which is what I'm planning to do. So you don't need to do anything extra, but you get that minor tag because of your electives. So you just need to talk with your course advisor, or if you are planning to come here, then you can talk to me as well. I can help you out with that since now I know a little bit. So yeah, again, be smart about it. If you can fit an elective, a minor in an elective, then do it. If you can't, overloading is not available to you till the second year, and I won't suggest overloading. But yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, of course, it's logical. When you're so new to everything else, I mean, you have to manage a job, you have to manage
Yeah,
home, and then this, it's just too much. You want to
exactly.
concentrate.
Yep.
Okay, okay. Lovely, lovely. And Sejal, could you talk to us about, now see, when it comes to Australia, I'll tell you one of the questions which I did not expect somehow that I usually get is, what about racism? Somehow that is something that
Oh,
everybody asks because here in the news, it's constantly, that this happened or that happened and there was this kind of incident. So can you please tell us how your experience has been and how are they welcoming? Are they really racist? Or what is it like?
so okay, I can't talk about Australia in general, right? I can only talk about Monash University since I've been here. Uh, but Monash has a vibrant international community, and there has not been a single like experience of racism or any of that kind. It is very accepting, and for example, yesterday I there was a Monash night out at Caulfield campus, and there was a event called Bollywood dance. So I mean, it's very accepting. There's I have not faced any kind of racism, nothing like that. It's very accepting and very friendly.
Wow, that's good to know. That's very good to know. And of course, that is what we try and tell, students and parents that, especially when you're in a university setting, there's hardly going to be anything like that because they want you to come. They're very welcoming. So coming from someone who's been living there
Exactly.
for some time now, it really helps, make us feel better. I'm sure that it will give a lot of good vibes to students as well as parents, for that matters. Okay.
Yeah, but even if you face any kind of racism, you need to have the guts to deal with it, and you need to know what to do in that kind of situation. So I mean, if you're prepared, then don't need to worry about it.
Correct, correct. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Sejal. Okay. So I think we have reached the half an hour mark. So I'm just going to stop here. I asked you everything that usually students ask us, and to get at least an overview. So we'll open it up to Q&A now. The same way, it will just be questions from the audience, and this is for the audience now. Please put your questions in the Q&A box. If you put it in the chat box, we'll not be able to answer them. Please put them in the question Q&A box, and then we'll answer your questions one by one. Okay, great. So we'll just give them some time, Sejal. Till then,
Yeah.
could you please just talk about how the resources are there? I mean, when it comes to like a
Okay.
computer class, what does your or for the, I'll change my question. Can you just walk us through
Yeah.
what a day in your life looks like?
Okay. So it's very different. Like all of my days are very different. So sometimes I have classes, sometimes I have shifts. So it depends. But I'll talk about the resources. I think that will be more helpful. So there are consultations happening every week for all the units. So you can go there, talk to your tutors or your lead tutor on one-on-one basis and clear your doubts. So professors, tutors are very helpful here. So even if you ask them any doubt, they're always ready to help. There are past sessions sometimes, which is peer assisted study sessions. So a senior who is like the top of his or her class will be leading that class, and they will be ready to ask, they will be ready to clear your doubts or just study together, basically. Then the libraries here are huge. There are 3 libraries, I think. I'm not a library study kind of girl. I don't like that kind of quietness. But if you like libraries, they are huge here. You find all kinds of resources, books. There is a recreational library which has a lot of mangas, Japanese mangas, if you know, fiction books, then all the kind of games you can think of. So yeah, it's pretty good. And the buildings here are also very well designed. The classes are very well designed. There are screens all around. Um, and some of the classes are recorded. So even if you need to like revise or rewatch some of the lectures, it's a great way to revise.
Wow, it sounds like a dream. That's great. That's great. Thank you, Sejal. And from the photos and when For the audience also, when our management visited Australia and, met with Sejal and other students, we quite like the architecture and, the infrastructure that they have
Oh,
for the
yes.
students, right? So there was something that they mentioned about, something called as like a collaborative learning. So how is that done in a class? Like we saw a video of all of you standing and doing something. So could you like, expand on that, please?
So we have workshops and tutorials or labs. So in the workshops, it's basically like lectures. There's a tutor and he or she teaches you and you listen. That's all. And you ask doubts, of course, if you have any. But in the tutorials and labs, it's more like a self-study kind of session. So you go to the session and they have a set number of questions or assignments for you to solve, and you just sit and solve. And if you want to solve them in a group, you make your own group and solve them together, and the tutor will come to you one and one and will ask you if you have any questions, if you have any doubts. I think it's a pretty good way for people who feel shy or nervous to ask doubts in a like in in front of like 200 students. So I think it's a pretty good way to solve doubts if you are nervous or shy to ask doubts. And it's also a pretty good way to get to know more students and talk to them and just um, basically solve the questions together. It's always good to know different perspectives.
Sounds very interesting, Sejal. Thank you. I mean, two different types of things. Like we have our lectures and our labs, but with tutorials, I
Exactly.
think someone else being available other than the professor who can solve your doubts. Of course, as you said very correctly,
Exactly.
another perspective helps. So great. Sounds very interesting. Thank you. So yes, we've got some questions now. So we can just jump to those questions. First question is from someone anonymous, but they've asked, does your college have job placements and what are the average packages? So I think that was the most expected question. So do you have any idea about it till now, Sejal?
Okay, so I don't have a senior, right? So I don't know, but maybe you guys will know because of me. But they have something called as IBL, but I'm still not sure whether we are eligible for it as transfer students. I am still working on it with the course advisor. So yeah, if I push enough, you will be also lucky to get it. Um, but yeah, but the job placements, I hope so, are great. So there are a lot of interactive sessions of alumni coming here, and they are pretty well placed. And I just had a session for one of my units where four seniors who are graduated now took a session, and they are placed in like Deloitte. One is placed in Deloitte, one is at Kohl's. So Kohl's is like a big supermarket here. So I think the job placements will be good. Let's hope for that. But I'm not sure now.
Of course. Thank you, Sejal. So, just to inform everyone, what she means by that is because she has not experienced it, she will not be able to tell you, of course. But I can tell you that we actually collaborated with Monash because of the placements, because of its ranking, because of how well it's placed. So I'm sure with Sejal's talent and how she's doing very well over there, she'll be definitely placed very well. So packages again, to answer your question, an average, to be honest with you, every university totally depends on the student. You can be a student who scores very well and cannot really crack an interview. You can be a student who doesn't score very well but can crack an interview very well. So it totally depends on you. However, to give you an average, you can get a salary from anywhere between 60 to 70 or even 80 Australian thousand, thousand Australian dollars per annum. But again, it depends on your ability because, with a stamp of Monash on your certificate, of course, you already are placed in a very good community of, the industry. It's just your effort that you need to put in order to get that job. Okay, so I've given you a number. Another quick clarification I want to make. What Sejal meant by IBL is industry-based learning. So these are, correct me if I'm wrong, Sejal, but these are like, 6 to 7 months placement opportunities that you get through Monash. And those are, of course, something, because this is a new program that we've started with Monash. The clarity on whether it is available is still something that we need to get. But of course, it will be available. And even if that's not, you don't have to worry about your full-time placement after graduation, because it's a
Yeah.
clean, equal kind of opportunity for any student just because you're
No,
a
it has
transfer.
nothing to do with,
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the placements. It's just a good experience beforehand of the
correct. It's
professional world. That's
sort
all.
of like an internship, right? Sort of like an
Yeah, yeah.
internship. Yes, correct. So great. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you for your answer, Sejal. We'll move on to the next question, which is someone's asking for a university, great university like Monash. How did you plan your resume? I mean, what did you do on your resume, and what types of courses did you add to your resume, or did you learn so that you're able to crack interviews?
Um, so for Subway or for like food industry, you don't need to have a lot of heavy resume. You just need to have the tact of cracking the interview. You need to be smart about it. For example, if I am interviewing as a Subway employee, I need to know what Subway stands for or what Subway offers. So if I say that, okay, Subway offers burgers, obviously they're not going to like think about me as a potential employee, right? So you need to be smart about it. If you're asking about the jobs right now, but if you're asking about the job placements later on, what kind of resume you need for that, I don't have the answer right now, but hopefully I will have an answer later.
Thank you, thank you. And we'd also, I'm so sorry, I can hear someone speaking. Anyway, but just wanted to quickly add or tweak that question to maybe help Parth understand who's asked this question. You spoke about a few courses that you did, and or very important for your course there, right? For your program there. What are those subjects that you would suggest students, really brush up on and really get the details of the basics of in order to do well in the university?
I would suggest Python, Calculus, and Java. So I did some of the courses from Udemy. So honestly, any courses that you feel that if you're lacking in, say, some of the subjects in Python, just brush up on that, because they will not teach you Python from scratch here. You need to know the syntaxes. You need to know how the logic works. So even if they're not very strict about like syntaxes, so you can search them up, but they are very strict about the logic here, right? Because it is a research based university, the professors will frame the questions themselves, and you cannot find the questions anywhere on the internet, let me tell you that. So it's not like, let me just search it up. That's not going to happen. Even like you can search the syntaxes, right? That's not a crime, but you cannot search the logic because it's nowhere to be found. You need to come up with the logic yourself. So yeah, I think Python, Java, calculus is something you need to be focused on right now.
That's great suggestion. Thank you, Sejal. Really helps. Trust me, we're trying to, kind of keep on telling students how exactly what you've said, the logic of it. You can of course get help from Google, but then you cannot copy and paste,
I mean,
and you
open
need
book
to.
tests don't help you. Yeah.
Though you
Even
can
if it's
access.
open book, it's not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Correct, correct. Thank you so much, Sejal. I hope this really is a loud and clear message for all students to start preparing ASAP. Okay, great. The next,
Absolutely.
thank you. The next question is from Darshana. She's asking, please explain what a major and a minor exactly is. Do you want to take this question or should I? If you're comfortable answering, you
Um,
can.
yeah. A major is basically computer science here. So, uh, like all of us will have the same major. So they call it specialization here. Specialization is advanced computer science or data science. They have two options within that. So I had earlier chosen advanced computer science, but then when I talked with my peers and the people who had taken data science, I quite liked their curriculum. So I just changed it. It was a pretty bold move, honestly. So I was in 3 weeks. I was in the third week, but then I was like, now or never. And then I did it, and now I'm enjoying it a lot. Now I'm doing data science, so that's called the specialization. And minor, it's not compulsory. You can or cannot do it. I am currently doing business analytics as a minor. So I have one of my units is a business unit. So that's not compulsory at all. If you want to do it, you can choose a minor from any field, from arts, commerce, whatever. But you just need to be eligible for it. So you need to have done the prerequisites for that unit that you're doing.
Thank you, Sejal. Just to add on to your question, it was very well explained. What she means by even unit here is, Darshana, or everyone in the audience, is unit is basically your course, your subject. So a lot of terms and the academic jargon is different in all over the world. So right now, Sejal mentioned that major is actually the degree name, Bachelor of Computer Science. That's how it works in Australia. It's a little different in US and Canada, where the degree is called a program. So Bachelor of Computer Science is going to be your program, and major is what you do under it. So you the niche subject, the niche area that you choose, and then a few subjects under that. So quite a lot to learn on your journey to being a transfer student. So yeah. But yes, this is something that you need to understand, because there's so many opportunities, so much flexibility, options available for you. Thorough research is required before you choose one. Am I right, Sejal?
Absolutely, yes.
Great, thank you. Okay, so we've got our next question, which is, can you provide some more information about the computer science course? What is the curriculum like? And I would actually
Okay.
add on to this, and I would like request you to answer. How does it work? Is your curriculum and your lectures, lecture wise, like week wise lectures provided to you in advance, and how do you prepare for that?
Yeah. So, okay, so it depends on what units you take, right? So you can be a computer science major but not have the same units as me, even if we are second year students here. But what is common between all the units is they have pre-class activities that you need to do. Trust me, you need to do them, because if you go do the classes without doing the pre-class activities, it's going to be very hard for you to catch up. Um, then you obviously have the class activities, and then you have the post-class activities. So again, as I told you, it's quite a lot, but if you're willing to learn and if you're willing to put in that efforts, as it is a ranked university, then you will be good here. I mean, the professors are helpful. You can always ask feedback for your assignments before submitting them, and they will help you with that. Obviously, they will not tell you if it is correct or wrong, but they will help you with giving you a direction if you are lost. And for me, the curriculum right now is mostly Python and calculus again. One of my unit is heavy in calculus. One of the unit is heavy in Python and databases. One of the unit is business, so it has a lot of to do with Excel and statistics. So again, mathematics. And the last unit is IT professional practice, which is very public. I mean, it has got to do a lot of it public speaking and what it is like to be in the IT professional world. It is very practical. But yeah, everything is very, very practical here. So you won't find anything very theory based. It's very practical. So it's not like you can just memorize and it's not ratta mar here. You need to understand the logic and concepts behind everything.
Works. Thank you so much for those details. Really helps us understand, what you're going through and what is actually the experience like as a student with regards to academics, and the kind of preparation that will be required in order to go to a ranked university, as someone previously asked a question about it. So thank you, Sejal. Um, Okay, so we've got one of the last questions here. It is from one of your peers actually is asking, how are you enjoying your 2 to 3 months in Australia? What are the tourist attractions and places? Have you been anywhere or are you planning on going to those places?
Yeah. So Melbourne is beautiful. There are a lot of picturesque sceneries around. There are a lot of parks, recreational areas. I have been to the city around 4 times. Um, but it's you don't get a lot of time, honestly. Even in my Easter vacations that I had right now, I had my job and I had a lot of assignments to do. But again, I mean, in my vacations coming up, I definitely want to explore Melbourne a little. Um, but yeah, again, there are so many places to see that you need to know the balance between that and studies as well. So it's just not like you're not here as a tourist, you're here as a student. Keep that in mind.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was great coming from a student. But no, but of course, Australia is
Yeah.
Australia. There's so much to explore, right? So when it's the
Beautiful.
right time, once you've graduated, when you're earning your own money, you can spend it
Exactly.
like you want to. So that's good, good to know. Thank you. Another question that mostly students have, and we want to kind of get an idea about. So how is your program kind of structured in the sense, what are the semesters and trimesters like? Like what is the structure like? Because here is your semester starts. There's no flexibility like that. Your semester starts in August. It'll end by December. The next will start in Jan, and it'll end by maybe May. So how is that different
Yeah.
there? And could you give some information on that?
Yeah. So right now I have to do it is semester concept here as well. So I have to do 4 semesters here, so 2 in each year and 4 units in each semester, so 8 units per year. And there are also summer units available, but they're only available for some units. I still have to check on that. But yeah, it's 4 units per semester and 2 semesters per year. So yeah.
Perfect, perfect. That helps. So basically, you're doing 8 subjects per year,
Yeah, eight
and that's
subjects. Yeah, units is subjects. Yeah,
correct. That is only for the
yeah,
audience. Don't worry, you're good to go. That's fine.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. So yeah, that's pretty much it, Sejal. Those are all the questions
Yeah.
that we had for you today. Last, it's not a question, just a request. You've already given a lot of suggestions, so I'm not going to ask for a suggestion. Just a message for all the students who would be interested, or whom you can probably ask to welcome or come to
Yeah.
Monash. How would you address them?
Yeah. So again, if you are um, willing to put in the efforts, put in the time, put in the hours of studying, and you want a ranked university, it's great here. Nothing like Monash University. Um, Everything is great here. The social life, the academic life. There are a lot of clubs, sports, everything. So yeah, this is a great opportunity for you to get into a ranked university. Um, with having a kind of preparation in India beforehand of the international education. So yeah, I hope to see some of you guys here. And honestly, I understood the importance of having seniors after coming here because everything was just so new to me. But someone has to be the first. And I'm really glad I got this opportunity. Thanks to VIIE, Shubhra ma'am, Shweta ma'am, and the entire team that pushed for this collaboration. But yeah, at least you have a senior now, and I am always happy to help. If you guys come here, I'm happy to assist you with your units if you have any doubts. That is, if you take the same units. I also, if you have any doubts, you can always contact me. I will leave my socials or anything you want. Yeah, so you can contact me whenever if you have any doubts.
That is extremely very, very sweet of you. Thank you so much, Sejal. it's such a proud moment to see someone so deserving to go to such a good university and do such good work. And you're too humble when you say, that the curriculum is really very difficult. I understand it definitely is, but even, I mean, audience, even when she says that, she just informed us that she scored a 14.5 on a 15 assignment. And then she says that it's really difficult, but you're doing very well. So we're very proud of you. Know
Yeah.
that always. And you're a very sincere kid. So we're
Thank you
very,
so
very happy for
much.
you. Stay the same
Thank you so
always.
much, ma'am. Yes,
Great.
absolutely. Yep,
Lovely. So please be in touch. And if anything, as you have all
absolutely.
yeah. So if you anything as you have offered, we'll share your LinkedIn or your any other profile that you'd be open to getting requests from. Yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
great. Thank you, Sejal, for your time today. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, you too. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me.
Thank you, everyone, and hope you have a great rest of the day as well. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.